So today we have a DALRC F40, so it's a 40 amp, 4-in-1 speed controller. Looks like it can take up to a 5S lithium polymer battery. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get pre-tinning our pads. We're gonna take and put this XT60 female connector, 14 gauge, and we're gonna put it right on our pads there so we can plug in our battery. First, what we're just gonna do is we're gonna warm up these pads and apply a little bit more tin. Now what we're gonna have to do is solder on all of the 4 different sets of motor wires. Okay, so we have the DALRC 40 amps 4-in-1 ESC. We've got our pieces of nylon protecting our propellers and our prop covers. We're gonna set this down and we're gonna solder them on and get the ESC to sit up. So this is the rear of the frame. So we want the our lead going out the rear. So we have these rubber grommets, these rubber spacers that we put on to dampen the vibration from the frame. So first I just want to make sure that we have enough height tolerance in here, so it looks like we do. That way no components are actually touching the frame. So this is pressed down to the frame. We have our iron. It's on about 400 degrees Celsius. And so what we're going to do is take these wires, and we want our opposite motors to be spinning, or sorry, our diagonal motor spinning the same direction, and the other diagonal the opposite direction. So the way we're going to do this is mechanically by just some of them are going to be put on straight and the other are going to be reversed to reverse the direction. We're going to reverse the middle and the wire on the right or the left, doesn't really matter. So at least let's get at it. We want nice shiny soldering joints. We want a good bond to the board itself as well. So we also want to make sure we don't have anything touching. And this one looks a little close. We'll have to go check that. Actually, we'll just move it a little further away. There we go. And we'll finish the rest of these and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so we're here with the TBS Unify Pro high voltage and our flight controller, or our little microcontroller. So what we're going to do is we're going to supply power to our video transmitter through our flight controller and route the signal from our flight controller through our signal from our video transmitter through our flight controller and then back to the cam and vice versa. So we have our wires, and the first thing I always do when you have a bunch of wires to eliminate or mitigate the possible for interference is I twist them up. Also keeps them nice and neat. So we get our wires neatly twisted. We're going to take the end here and separate the wires based on what we're going to need them to connect to. So we have our voltage and our ground and our video wires. It looks like our input voltage is from 7 to 26 volts on this. So if we look at our pads, looks like we have our 9 volt pad connected, which means that any of our VCC will supply the 9 volt. So that's where we'll connect that to power. So we've soldered up our speed controller. We pre-tinned our camera wires and got the camera mounted, and we drilled a hole and put a piece of M2 hardware there to fasten it. And we've got the flight controller here, and we've soldered on a 10-pin connector, which will actually fit perfectly with this ESC, so we don't actually have to manually solder the motor signal wires. We got our GPS lead soldered up, and the Unify Pro. So the next thing to do is to stick this board on here and then get this video wire attached to the flight controller board. So here's the final product. We get the drone put together. We have all the boards stacked on top of each other, and our mounts for the GoPro is fastened to the frame. We have our video transmitter antenna there, little omnidirectional pagoda, and we even got the battery connected to the bottom with these 2 straps. So we're going to bring it outside next and see how it flies and see if we can tune it.